How's it going, folks? I'm Mark from Like Minded Lunatics. This is Ricky from Like Minded Lunatics, and this is Lottie.
Yay! Howdy, folks!
And this is going to be a Halloween edition of Ladi'S Rockucation.
A Halloween Rockucation?
Halloween Rockucation, that's right.
Do people know what a Rockucation is?
Well, explain it to them.
A Rockucation is what Mark invented to expose me to music that I would never normally listen to in my everyday life. Is that it?
That's it.
That's it.
Yep, and I'm not really trying to make you like stuff that I don't think you would like, but just kind of appreciate the art forms of music you usually would listen to.
Yes, I've actually started paying attention to lyrics of songs that I wouldn't listen to because the music was, as I say, a bit noisy for me. But I've fallen in love with some people that you've introduced me to, like L7 and some other people.
Yeah, they're great.
Yes.
They're great. So today we're going to take a look at Metallica'S 1. Now, Ricky, you remember this well, right?
Oh yeah, this came out when I was in high school. Like, everyone watched this. I recorded this on my VHS tape.
Yep, this music video was extremely popular.
So I'm going to ask you something. Was Metallica, so Metallica was around when video became big, or did video become big before Metallica?
Before Metallica.
Okay.
They were around about the same time playing, like 83, 84 is when Kill 'Em All came out. MTV came out in 1982, but they weren't really commercially viable until like the end of the 80s. And by that I mean a lot of their songs were either really long or so heavy that they wouldn't get rotation on anything.
Yeah, Metallica didn't play a lot of like metal stuff.
It was
I think until the late 80s.
It was really
So what did they play?
It was really thrash kind
Yeah.
of music.
Okay, what is the difference between thrash and metal?
Gosh, now we're like diving into subgenres.
Subgenres and subgenres of subgenres.
I always thought it was just noisy. All of it.
So in my
You need
head,
to say spicy.
Spicy.
in my head, heavy metal has like highly distorted chord progressions and stuff, but they're not just super duper fast. Thrash metal is stuff that is really typified by like, was it like 7/8 time and stuff like that, and it's super duper fast with a lot of double bass drumming, like that.
So that's what Metallica was at first. Why did they move? Why did they switch?
They just aged. I mean, they intentionally said they were trying to do different stuff.
Well,
And you kind of want that with a band. You don't want them to be a one-trick pony. You want them to kind of evolve and
We've
change.
had this. We've had this.
Yeah.
Nope.
Type of
I
stuff.
want my carpenters to always sell me pallets.
I'm a fanatic.
I will say something about genre, though, since we talked, just to throw it out there. But, you know, there for a while, genre was pretty much dictated by companies and marketing.
Right.
Really?
So someone would say, oh, this is thrash. And someone would say, well, I'm not sure. And the company was trying to figure out where to market. Because that could, now there's like, since I'm a music professor, there's research on what are the genres and people are trying to catalog all that.
Right.
But as far as like what's thrash, what's metal, what's doom metal, what's
Doom metal? There's another
death metal, black metal.
Black metal.
Oh,
There's so many.
Oh, yeah. You can go down a rabbit hole.
Black metal isn't racial. It's not African Americans playing metal. It's
all
black
dark.
metal is.
That's another episode. Let's keep going.
So this one, this song comes off of their 1989 album, And Justice for All. It was the album that was immediately before the Black album. So the Black one was the one with Enter Sandman and The Unforgiven, and
The one that you-
and
okay.
yeah, that we've listened to quite a bit on the
Yeah.
on the channel here. But this music video and this song is routinely cited as one of their masterpieces, and it's also a nightmarish song. And
You
it
mean
won't-
it's scary on its own?
yeah.
Okay.
And it won't seem nightmarish when it starts. It's going to seem creepy, but it's not going to seem nightmarish until we get into the lyrics and stuff. But I'll read just a little bit of description. So this music video was shot in black and white by director Michael Salmon, and the video story is intercut with scenes taken from the 1971 anti-war film Johnny Got His Gun, starring Jason Robards. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
Okay, it's an anti-war movie from 1971 about World War I.
But I know Jason Robards.
The video was ranked as #1 on MTV soon after its introduction, and it was the first song to win a Grammy Award for Best Metal Performance, the first ever to win in that category.
Is it because the category was invented at this time?
Pretty much, yeah. So,
Wow.
and they were the first metal band to kind of win an award at the Grammys. And so this song and the music video has been lauded as one of their masterpieces. I don't think that's understating it or overstating it,
Oh,
Rick.
God, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and dive into this, and this is going to be a longer reaction because the song is long, so I'll let it run as long as I can before we have to stop and talk about it, okay? But if you see something you want to talk about, you tell me.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
I'm already-
Metallica 1 from 1989.
James and his Explorer.
The cerebrum has suffered massive and irreparable damage.
You never know what has happened to him.
Had I not been sure of this, I would not have permitted him to live.
Where?
Father?
What happened?
I need help.
What is democracy? What is democracy?
Got something to do with young men killing each other, I think.
When it comes my turn, will you want me to go?
For democracy, any man would give his only begotten son.
Pause it. That is my favorite Kirk Hammett solo. That whole intro, out of all his solos, that is my favorite one.
It's beautiful.
I just love it.
Super clean.
Very musically interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of soul in there. That's my favorite Metallica solo.
It is gorgeous.
I love it.
What are you thinking so far? This doesn't sound anything like what you've heard from them before.
It does not sound like anything but I've not seen the movie, and now I'm interested in the movie because that line really bothered me when he told his son, for democracy, every man would give his firstborn. What a horrible thing to say to your children.
Yes.
I mean, if it is democracy, you don't get to decide if your children go.
Right. Well, and the entire film is an anti-war film about the horrors of war. So about sending people off to war, and what happens to the main character is absolutely abominable.
Is he the main character, Jason Robards?
No. He
He's
plays
his dad.
Yeah, he
He's
plays
the
the
dad.
father in it.
Gotcha.
And this is actually based off of an earlier novel. The film was. Now, interestingly enough, because Metallica demanded that they intercut scenes from that film into their music video because they thought it was so imperative to kind of understand the song, so they demanded that. They had to pay rights to the film every time this music video aired on MTV, and it was one of the most popular song or videos of the time. And so Metallica unilaterally decided to buy all of the rights to that film, so they own the film, so they can play this music video whenever they want.
So every time you rent Johnny Got His Gun, you're giving Metallica a few pennies.
Yep. So I thought that was a very metal thing to do in and of itself.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what? Fuck it. We're just buying the song.
But you know
Or
what
the
a nice
film.
thing to do for these people who created something that know it. If what we're saying is true about music, not necessarily lasting to the next generation, this brought a movie to people who would never have seen it.
Never have seen it. Never have seen it. And a topic that
They wouldn't have understood. There was no draft at that time.
And the genre, the people who were fans of the genre at the time probably wouldn't have thought of this point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we'll go on with it, but
To experience pain, pleasure, memory, dreams, or thought of any kind, this young man will be as unfeeling, as unthinking as the dead until the day he joins them.
I don't know whether I'm alive and dreaming or dead and remembering.
How can you tell what's a dream and what's real when you can't even tell when you're awake and when you're asleep?
Where am I?
now we're almost 2 minutes in, and James is just now about to sing, which I've always thought was really...
That's what we call the intro.
Yeah,
It's like a minute and 40 seconds.
I can't remember anything. Can't tell if this is true or dream. Deep down inside I feel the scream. This terrible silence stops in there. Now that the war is through with me, I'm waking up, I cannot see that there's not much left of me. Nothing is real but pain now.
What are you thinking so far with these first two stanzas?
Well, it's what you always do, Mark. You play me a sad song.
It's super dark.
It's very dark. I mean, this is just sad. This is sad that we ever allowed people to go through any of this.
Yeah. It gets darker.
Oh my God!
We're just getting started.
Oh my God!
They don't get lighter in their lyrics until 2 years ago, I believe. They transitioned a little bit, but yeah, it does get darker. But
I'm going to ask you a question. So what about this darkness appeals to you two?
I think finding beauty in the horror of life and trying to provide a way to look at it that is both impactful but also captures the humanity is something that is beautiful to me, but also necessary. So, you know, like one of the things you study in literature is like the poets of World War I. The ability to kind of capture the horror of war rather than the rah, rah, rah of war is extremely important.
Okay.
And I think that's what this song does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I guess this is from growing up around the same time that Mark did, but I always teach my students duende, which is this concept of an artist is truly creative when they're like on the verge of death.
Yeah.
So like Mozart and Kurt Cobain and this like pain, you don't, students are always like, oh, I write music that people like. And I'm like, no, you don't. You don't write music that makes people think. Like Schindler's List is not a great movie to watch, but it makes you think. You have to have that pain in there because that's part of life. There's great things and there's horrible things. And you can't sugarcoat the horrible things.
No.
And I think
as an artist,
I think the other thing to keep in mind too is like the time period. So Reagan's just out of office, and we have this whole vision of America as if it's Rambo.
Yeah.
And then the heavy metal community is it's a monolith. A lot of the guys think in certain ways, and then we have this heavy metal band come out and go, you know what? War is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Let me show you how horrible. I think that's important.
So early on, the 80s metal people were Reagan folks? They were pro-war,
I don't know that they were Reagan folks. I think they were just outsiders, but a lot of masculinity.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I get it.
My breath is I wish for death. Oh, please, God, wake me.
I just went ahead and chopped off everything. Oh, God, please make them hear me. They won't listen. They won't hear me.
Oh, wake me up, I'll be like this for years.
Hear me.
Back in the womb, it's much too real. In pumps life that I must feel, but can't look forward to reveal. Look to the time when I live, fed to the dude that sticks in me, just like a wartime novelty, tied to machines that make me be. Cut this life off from me. Hold my breath as I wish for death. Oh, please, God, wake me.
It's like a piece of meat that keeps on living.
Okay, I'm going to ask you something. Oh, God, please wake me. Is he hoping to wake into whatever comes next? Because if he's holding his breath and wishing for death, then he's wanting to go to whatever happens.
I think that the key to that is at the very beginning when we get lines from the film when the soldier is saying, I can't tell what's real and what's a dream. I can't tell if this is a waking life or if this is the horror of a nightmare. And I think that whether or not, it's super duper open to interpretation, but I think that the protagonist is literally asking God to wake me from this nightmare. Whether waking means look to the time when I'll live or hold my breath as I wish for death. Whichever one, stop this nightmare.
Okay.
And I haven't seen the movie, but I'm thinking he has lost all his limbs and his face got blown off, so he can't talk.
Yeah.
Or anything.
And the lyrics mirror that at the end.
Yeah. So he's like just on this bed and people are just coming feeding him and stuff. And he's like, all of this is in his head. Like, they can't hear me. They can't, you know,
and so
I'm going to hold my breath and maybe I'll die. And then someone, like all of that.
And that's what that line, just like a wartime novelty. How cold and awful is that?
Yeah.
Injured in battle, and now you're a novelty of the war that's now stopped.
Yep.
Absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
And the music, what are you thinking of the music so far?
No, the music is a surprise to me from Metallica, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because this is not what I've come to expect from them, from everything you've shown me. Most of what you've shown me.
James is singing pretty clean. I mean, there's some, hold my breath. There's some of that. But for the most part, he's just singing.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I was just thinking, Kirk Hammett looks like he's 12 years old. He looks like a little kid there.
His arms are so skinny. I'm like,
and his
come on,
face
Kirk.
is now, you know, he looks
I know.
rustic, but there he looks like a little kid.
There's some curls, boy.
It won't always be like this, will it?
I can't live like this. I can't.
has a dignity all its own.
Father, I need help. I'm in terrible trouble and I need help.
Don't you remember when you were little? How you and Bill Harper would string a wire between the two houses so you could telegraph to each other? Still remember the Morse code?
Darkness imprisoning me. All that I see, absolute horror. I cannot live, I cannot die. Trapped in myself, body my only cell.
It's Morse code. For what? SOS. Help.
Do you see what they were saying?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's spelling out SOS. I love the way that, and to me, Ricky, you can speak to this a little bit more. To me, this song feels very orchestral in like the four movements of orchestra.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
To me, it feels like it's broken up that way rather than, verse, chorus, bridge, outro. It doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like we're building up to a rising action and then we get the denouement at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you something. When they wrote stuff like this, who's that?
James Hetfield.
Is he the person that came with everything and then people built around it? Did they write together? Did someone else come up with this? How did this work?
Until Hardwired for Destruction, James wrote all the lyrics and no one else was allowed to contribute.
And then the music was built around the lyrics?
I think that if I remember right, a lot of times they would come in, him and Lars would noodle around with guitar and drums to find like a riff that they liked or find like a musical motif that they liked. James would go off and write lyrics, and then they would bring the other band members in and start building the pieces around it.
Gotcha.
So it was really, the way they wrote was kind of unique in that no one else had any contribution to the lyrics at all.
But the seed of this stuff is him.
The lyrical content, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, this one was based off of that Johnny Got Your Gun movie and book.
Yeah, but you get the impression, at least my impression from everything I've seen because of him, is that may have come from the book, but it came from the book because it meant something to him.
Exactly that, yeah. So like this darkness imprisoning me, all I see, absolute horror, I cannot live, I cannot die. I mean, if you wanted to transpose that to someone dealing with addiction, it would be very easy to do. Or someone dealing with depression, very easy to do. So while I do think that there is a literal impetus for this piece of art, obviously I think it's subjective enough that it can be kind of interpreted however you want it to.
Okay.
Landmine has taken my sight, taken my speech, taken my hearing, taken my arms, taken my legs, taken my soul, left me with life in hell.
What's he saying? He says, kill me. Over and over again. Kill me.
Don't you have some message for him, Padre?
He's the product of your profession, not mine.
That was a great line.
That is a great line.
Yeah, product of your profession, not mine.
And that's the commander talking to the doctor and nurse.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it does kind of harken back to War Pigs, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Black Sabbath's song War Pigs is essentially about the rich people sending the young off to die.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same thing. But what's fascinating to me about this song is it is a 100% anti-war song. And the number of times that I've seen their music used by pro-right folks like Seek and Destroy and stuff like that is fascinating to me because the lyrical content does not necessarily support that point of view.
Well, obviously not. And do they not listen?
No, they don't. I mean, the number of people that play Born in the USA and go rah, 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 and don't understand it's about a Vietnam vet that's not getting the help he needs. It's ridiculous. But same thing.
Our Fortunate Son.
Our Fortunate Son, yeah.
Woo, I had to go there.
Yeah.
Go, Kurt.
Kill me. I'm asking you to kill me.
faces death by himself. Alone.
Goodbye, Father. Inside me, I'm screaming. Nobody pays any attention. If I had arms, I could kill myself. If I had legs, I could run away. If I had a voice, I could talk and be some kind of company for myself. Why don't they get it over with and kill me? I could yell for help, but nobody'd help me. I've just got to do something. I don't see how I can go on like this.
Oh my God.
We fade out on him celebrating the victories of war as he languishes in that bed.
Yep.
Neither alive nor dead.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask, and I'm sorry, folks, I'm asking for a spoiler. Do they let him die in the movie?
Yeah, I think so. I think at the
I
end
haven't
of it,
seen it.
I'm pretty sure that he died.
God,
Johnny dies at the end, yeah.
I dear God, I hope so.
But this was one that I wanted to wait to Halloween to do for obvious reasons.
Yeah, because why not scare people to death? Thank you. That's
it's
what
a
I need.
freaking nightmare.
It is. This is horrible. God.
Yeah. What did you think, though, as far as a piece of music and a piece of art?
I'm going to say this. They did a masterful job of reworking an old... What from what I'm hearing from you, an old movie that no one would have heard about
Yeah.
into something modern to teach a lesson to people who would have no comprehension of this lesson without this song.
Yeah.
Because once they ended the draft and they say it's voluntary force. People don't have an understand. They don't live with that fear.
No,
because they can't. It's gone for them. It's gone for most of them. So to understand what people are going through, this is absolutely horrific. But it's so beautifully done. And I got to tell you, the beginning surprised me because the beginning was so nice and for me melodic.
It was. Yeah.
And it was the kind of music that I would listen to on a regular and then it turned into what I expect from Metallica, but it has to for this.
I think that thematically it works because the beginning of it, we're leading up into the horrors of that. And there's no way you can start with that. But boy, oh boy, it makes it so much more impactful when we finally get to the and you really get that sense of things have gone really, really wrong.
Yeah.
Well, folks, let us know in the comments what you think about this. I'd waited to do this one for Halloween because I knew it was a nightmare one. Like not a boogeyman nightmare, but
a real nightmare.
A real nightmare. So let us know in the comments what you think. Take care of yourselves, folks. We'll see you soon.
Adios.